Hello, so this is my assignment for project number 1, and I have created all the user stories which are mentioned as prerequisite for this project. So as a demo, let's start with the first screen. This is the first screen where I have mentioned two buttons. First is login and sign up, and there are currently no users signed up. So let's start with creating the first user. And if I don't click on I agree to terms of use, there will be an error displayed, and if I click it, there will be an alert displaying user created successfully, and hence the user is created. Let's create one more user. So I created two users. Let's start with logging in the first user which I have created. So as I log into the by providing the credentials of first user, here you can see we can see the details of user, that is hello Vikram Chaudhary, and the to-do list currently is blank because we haven't provided any to-do list till now. These are account details and logout buttons. So account, if I click on account details, I will be navigated to account details button screen where all the controls are present, and I can update the account details apart from username. Let's start by creating first to-do list. I can create list. So I created first list for the user Vikram Chaudhary, and if I click on that list, you can see both my items are here, and I can save these items as done by providing this by clicking on this checkbox. So if I click after clicking on this checkbox, I need to do save list, and the list is saved. So let's log out and see after logging in if we still have that list present. The list is still there. If I click on the list, I can see that the item is set as done. Okay, try creating one more list. And I can save the list. So there are two lists now. Now let's log out and log in for other user. So this is the other user which I have created. There are no lists present for this user. And I can save it. So this is the list for other user, that is John Morrow, and there are two items for him. So now let's log out and again log into my first user. So as you remember that I've checked two items for this first to-do list as done. Oh, sorry, that was one item. So as you can see, the one item is already checked. Let's check both of these items as done, and we can save it, and we can log out. Again, let's log in for second user. Let's check both of these. So, and this is the logout button, which helps us to log out of the system and log in again. So this is the brief demo of the project. Let's walk through the code. So this is the single HTML file which I have used to create all those screens. So I basically used different divs for all of those sections, as you can see here. And I have got the references of those divs by using get element by id for various divs in the starting of the javascript.js file. And going forward, I have added events, click events for all the buttons which I have added, like show login, show log on, log out, create user, edit user details. And I have you created some classes. So first of the class which I have created is user, which has username, password, first name, last name. And this class also contains a reference to to-do list, which is an array. So this array will contain all the items, all the to-do lists basically, which have been created for this particular user. And I will store this particular type in the this to-do list, and it will have a name, date, and this to-do list again will be having an array of item, and the item is defined as name and is done. This is a flag which I am have used to manipulate the checkbox. So this is the various methods which I have created. So like while log out, I will be logging out of the system. I will set the parse user as null. So parse user, I am keeping a global variable which I am setting up when I log in to the system for particular user. So let me see where. So yeah, this is the place where I'm setting the parse user. So there are various validations as well, like you need to provide the password or username, password and username, both of them. And if the user is not present, I will be displaying that there is no user with this particular username. And if the user is able to log in, I will display the divs which are relevant for that particular action. So these are the various methods, and in create user I am creating the while I click on the create new user or login. Sorry, when I click on sign up basically, so I'll be navigated to create user screen where I can enter the username, password, first name, last name, and I need to select the terms of use, otherwise I will not be able to create the user. So this is the small method where I have wrapped the logic to display error. And edit user details, similarly, if I click on update details, I will be navigated to edit div, and I can update the user details. If So this particular logic is I have contained in the create user because I'm using same button for create as well as update. So if it is update user, I'll be updating the password, username and first name for that particular user, and I'll be storing the updated uh, values in the local storage. And so this is the main logic where I will be updating or adding the newly created list. And if I will check if the list is not present, it is a new list, I will be adding the new list to the my local storage, and I will be adding it with the first item. This is the text box where I enter the item name. And if it is an already existing list, I will be adding the item to that particular list. Here, as you can see, I have created a new instance of that item with the is done value set as false, because first time whenever I am setting the value, I will set it as false. So apart from that, there are other small nitty-gritties which I have placed together, and I have created this small project. I hope I have covered all the user stories and functionalities of this small project. Thank you.